Can you give us a sense about the extent to which American entertainment companies start to internalize Chinese, mainland Chinese norms about acceptable topics, and how is this an organic evolution? Is it in fits and starts? Is it trying here and there? But I mean, to what point do we get to where we are today in by the 2020s, where American entertainment companies that want to be able to have content viewed in China more or less are acceding to these red lines as to what and are what are not acceptable topics.
Right, Nick, you really hit on the key distinction here with China. I think, studio executives, when I would talk about this, would often say, "Well, we censor movies for all kinds of markets. We censor movies for airplanes." And there's a key distinction here, which is that China's operating on a scale that allows it to censor films not just before they're released in Chinese theaters, but before they're released anywhere in the world, meaning that no Hollywood studio can make a movie that is critical of China or that presents it in a bad light without facing some kind of repercussions elsewhere. And this can come up in a number of different ways. So, if, let's say, Universal decides to make a movie about Tiananmen Square, well, suddenly Universal might see its other movies not get released
Yes.
into the Chinese market. And I would take it in even a step further. And this is one thing that Disney learned with Kundun, which is that it also can start to jeopardize much larger holdings. So Universal makes a movie about Tiananmen Square, and suddenly that theme park they just built in Beijing is called into question, and whatever other holdings the parent company Comcast
Mm.
might have to consider in China are called into question. And this is not speculation. This is what has happened over the production of a movie. Again, the critical point being over the production of a movie that was never going to be shown in China at all. And there are very, very few historical examples of markets that have been able to do that. One is the Nazi Party in the 1930s before the U.S. entered the war. They operated very similarly, and I think it's a very savvy strategy, because it ensures not just that your people see what you want them to see, or what you or they don't see what you don't want them to see, but also that the American film, which remains this global product, becomes something of a de facto commercial for you and avoids any criticism of you in other countries all around the world.